Here.
Parkin.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Lamb.
Here.
McCord.
Here.
Moran.
Here.
Wilkinson. You have 8 present.
Approval, sorry. Let's please stand for the moment of silence. And tonight, let's remember Cecilia Garner, active volunteer and past president of the Friends of the North Adams Public Library, and assisted with the North Adams Tourist Booth. And the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes from May 18th,
Motion
May
to-
8th.
Motion to accept the minutes from May 8th, 2018.
Second.
Hopkins. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Minutes approved. Paper number 11,646-C, communication from the Planning Board, schedule a joint public hearing amending the marijuana zoning ordinance. This was in City Council on May 8th, 2018. There was a public hearing held on May 14th. Without objection, we will file the communication. Which brings us to paper number 11,646-CL, or C1, communication from the Planning Board regarding recommendation for the marijuana ordinance. Without objection, we will file that communication. And now to paper number 11,646-B, an ordinance amending Chapter Z of the revised ordinance of the City of North Adams, licensed marijuana establishment, Section 10.12. This was in City Council April 10th, 2018. It was voted to refer to Public Safety Committee and the Planning Board. There was a public hearing was held on May 14th. We need a motion to pass to a second reading and publish required by law.
Second?
Was that?
I said
Oh, okay, yep, all right. And discussion. Guess we've discussed this one. Any discussion from the public? Okay. Here, not hearing any discussion. We have a motion to pass and a second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Maybe we're done talking about that for a while. Paper number 11,652-1, an ordinance amending Chapter Z entitled Zoning Appendix A, entitled Use Regulation Schedule, Principal Uses 52 and 54. This was in City Council May 8, 2018, voted to postpone to the meeting of May 22nd, and requested Mr. Smithers to attend the meeting for clarification. Mr. Smithers is here tonight, and I need a motion to pass to a second reading and publish as required by law.
So moved.
Second.
Harpen, and was that you? Liam. Okay. And we have discussion. So I know, I don't know if, Councilor Buddington, if you want to present your question again, so
Certainly.
that,
I can do that.
people understand what Mr. Smithers is responding to. Okay?
At our previous meeting, I thought that just a small part of the language was confusing, and I suggested an amendment to remove the words "in I2 zone districts," which would not affect the change this makes in our zoning. It just clarifies the intent of the council. And I have spoken with Mr. Smithers. I'd be happy to turn it over to him.
Sure. So unless any other counselor wants to speak first, we'll let Mr. Smithers give his opinion or what he wants to say about this, and then it can come back to the council. Yes, go ahead. Mr. Smithers, just, you know, I'm saying your name and address for the record again, please.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the City Council. My name is Sid Smithers. I'm an attorney with Kane, Hibbert, and Myers in Pittsfield. We represent Greylock Works, the owner of the Greylock Mill on State Road. At their request, I filed a zone change amendment to permit the manufacture of alcohol in the I2 zone district where the Greylock Mill is. That went through a public hearing process, a joint public hearing, and came back before the City Council on May 8th, and as a result of a communications failure between me and my client, neither of us were here to answer questions which inevitably arose when you're not there to answer them. Council President requested that I return this evening to answer those questions, which I'm happy to do. I apologize to you for the necessity of this continued meeting, which we should have and could have taken care of on May 8th had one of us been here. Mr. Buddington's suggestion that the words in I-2 zone districts be deleted from the proposed zoning amendment is acceptable to the petitioner. My first concerns were that if a zoning amendment is further amended on the floor of the City Council after the Planning Board has had its public hearing, it may fall prey to being such a dramatic change to the proposed ordinance that it has to go back to the Planning Board for a new public hearing, and we wanted to avoid that. I did some research. I spoke with Councilor Buddington. I spoke with your City Council President, and I have satisfied myself, and more importantly, my client, that if this change is made, it will not have to go back to the Planning Board for further public hearing, and we therefore are happy to assent to Councilor Buddington's proposed amendment to delete those words. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Smithers? No? All right. So, Councilor Buddington, I apologize. Did you actually propose an amendment at this time, or you just
Not
asked the
formally,
question again?
but I would like to.
Okay. So if you wish to formally request that amendment again, go ahead.
Okay. I move that we amend this ordinance to remove the words "in I-2 zone districts" from the sentence beginning "delete alcohol in principal uses."
And would you like to explain further, I mean, your exact reason
Okay.
again for this?
The reason is that this is changing the table of uses for the city, which consists of a list of uses. In this case, it's numbers 52 and 54 with descriptions, and then there are rows showing whether that use is allowed by right or by special permit or not at all for each of the zones. And so to delete the word alcohol from line 52 changes the description of all of line 52 for all of the zones. And in practice, this change affects what is permitted in all of the I zones. And so by the language here where it says that we're going to delete alcohol in principal uses, line 52, in I-2 zone districts, I thought added uncertainty because it made it sound as though we were only intending for this to affect the I-2 zones, when in fact a language change will affect several zones. It will result in exactly the same change to the table, and so this amendment will not have a different result in ordinance. It just makes the intent of the council clear.
I second his motion to amend, by the way.
You don't want to repeat all that? Okay. All right, so we have a motion and we have a second. Do we have any other discussion from the council on that? And this is, again, only amending the motion that is currently from us. So to be clear, the motion is we're deleting in I-2 zone districts
Yes,
after 52, right?
correct.
That's the only amendment. Okay?
Yes.
What's that? Sorry.
I just want to make sure we get this right.
Okay.
So we're not doing this.
No. We're
This one here?
just removing
This?
the in I-2 zone district. That's it.
Okay.
That's
it?
staying.
That's all
Yep.
okay.
There's also,
Oh, sorry, yes.
there's also a typo, and be it further amended. Amended is a typo.
Oh,
Okay. Does there need to be a motion to amend that, or? Yeah. All right. So do you want to add that typo correction to your,
Please.
certain. I'd be happy, if I may amend my motion to include the corrections proposed by Councilor Cohen, yes.
you can
I make that motion.
re-second that? Okay, so we just added that to the original motion, or the original amendment. Do we have any other discussion on this? Yes, Counselor LaForce.
And so to be clear, the amendment does not affect line and usage 54? You're only referring to language in line 52?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Any discussion from the public? Not hearing any discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? That actually, I apologize. So this is just on the amendment, okay? So to be clear, let me just do that again. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? So the amendment passes. And any discussion on the full motion? Not hearing any other discussion. Now, all in favor of the full motion?
Aye.
And opposition? All right, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Smithers. You are welcome to leave. Okay?
Thank you.
Moving on to paper number 11,665, Mayor's Communication number 27, relative to the approval of a permit for installation of the overhanging sign for Persnickety Toys located at 13 Eagle Street. Without objection, file the communication. And tonight, our city administrator is filling in for the mayor. Do you have anything to say on this, or is this pretty self-explanatory? Okay. We're going to move on to the motion, and then I do know Councilor Lamb will have something to say. Okay, paper number 11,665, an order granting permission to install an overhanging sign to Monique Suitors, Persnickety Toys located at 13 Eagle Street. Motion to adopt the order.
So moved.
Second.
Hopkins and Harpin. Okay, I'm going to let Councilor Lamb explain his participation in this, and then I'm going to ask the council, there will be options. We will carry this through the next several motions that are on papers we have, because they're basically all the same thing. So, Councilor Lamb, would you like to explain your part in this?
So, those of you who have been aware of the Eagle Street initiative, this is one of the components to that project, which I've been the primary kind of coordinator of for the last couple of years now. While I am involved in this many hours every week, this is not something that I'm gaining any financial benefit from whatsoever. There's no direct influence on me personally in terms of anything I'm taking away from it. However, if the council sees appropriate, I'm willing to step out so that I can still discuss this, but I wouldn't be voting, or if you want me to continue and as a voting member for these next few papers, I'm willing to go whatever way the council's pleasure is. So, but this is an ongoing project. This is a first round of them. There will be a couple more rounds of these because we couldn't get them all in one shot, but this is just one of those phases of this project.
So the council has some options on this, and one is that we can allow Councilor Lamb to continue participating in the discussion and to vote, because there is, from at least what I can see, there's no financial conflict. Unlike when the plastic bag issue came up, I own a business that the vote actually could affect financially my decision or my business. There's nothing at the end of this that benefits Councilor Lamb. But this is part of the process to make sure it's transparent and to make sure it's out front. But the council can still make some decisions. So we can allow him to continue to speak and participate and vote. We can allow, we could say he must abstain and he can't discuss or vote. Or we can allow him to step down where he can't vote, but he would have to step down from the council and speak sort of as a citizen, which is what I did with the plastic bag issue. We're not really looking for a motion. I guess we're just sort of entertaining some discussion and basically just sort of have a vote on it. So yes, Councilor Hopkins.
I have no concerns with Councilor Lamb's continued participation in this.
Yes, Councilor Buddington.
I'll second that, and I think it's nowhere close to a conflict of interest. I think it's just fine.
Yes, Councilor LaForce and Harpin.
And in the Just to be redundant, I support Counselor Hopkins and Buddington. I see no conflict of interest here, and, the good work that Counselor Lamb has done on this project really, in many ways, is an extension of his work on the council and could be seen as a committee of sorts of the council to the great benefit of Eagle Street in the city. So I have no objection.
Yeah, I agree. I see no financial connection here at all for him, and, appreciate his great work there with an amazing initiative. So, and anything, I think, I appreciate you bringing this out to us and making the decision. I think voting on something or doing something is really more of a personal decision as well. I mean, what your ethics are and what you're involved in and that type of thing. So, I mean, it's really more of a personal decision than a council decision, so.
Yes, Councilor Murray.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I guess I'll have to talk too. Is this something that we typically do if there is, like, if I was involved in something in the community, should I be transparent and let people know that?
Often we would probably just abstain from it, but since I believe Councilor Lamb is going to explain a little bit more about this, but if it was something he didn't have anything to say, it's easy just to abstain, which I think you'll see we often do. There will be actually one coming up with the sign for Roots. I'm on the Roots board. I financially don't gain from that sign being there or not, but at the same time, I think it's better just to abstain from that so it doesn't look biased. That, of course, I'm going to support it. I'm on the board. So I think it's just being more transparent. I don't know. If we call the State Ethics Committee on some of these, they may see it's fine, you don't need to do it, but I think this is just covering ourselves, okay?
So is this going to be a blanket decision?
So,
for
so
anything
what I'm
going
going to do
forward?
now, I mean, I've heard sort of an opinion from everybody, and it's not really a motion, so I'll just say, all in favor of allowing Councilor Lamb to continue the discussion and voting on this matter.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that opens that up. So now we can move on to the regular discussion of this. Yes, Councilor
One
Hopkins.
very simple question. I assume this doesn't impact any store's ability to use window signage, doesn't change any of that, right?
No, this doesn't change anything, and I don't know if, I feel like other councilors were there, but this actually already went before planning board at their last meeting, so it's gotten the sign-offs on that end. This is the, just the council's piece to this.
Yes, Councilor Cohen.
If a business comes in and doesn't want to use the signage that you're proposing here, is there an option or is this mandated?
So there's a couple of property owners that just haven't been interested in the installation of it, so they don't have to.
Okay.
If, let's say we put a sign on a building and it changes hands, we won't have the funding to support future signage, so they would have to provide their own signage, but the brackets would remain, so they would be able to, just order a sign to adhere to there, and we could direct them to vendors that have the right dimensions and everything if they needed to. But this is kind of a first round of getting pedestrian-facing signage throughout the street, whether it's active storefronts or just any storefront. So beyond the ones that you'll see in here with actual businesses involved, there's also just a standard historic Eagle Street sign that can go in unoccupied storefronts.
Yes, Councilor Harp.
Can you just explain what it actually looks like? Because these are really impressive. We're looking at a picture of these and the design of them, and they're really impressive, and I think they're going to look really sharp down the street. Can you just explain when they're going to go in and
Sure.
what the design is and how you came up with the design?
So the plan originally was for these to already be kind of going in, but spring got the best of us, and the season extended a little bit further. And so what we have is it's a black metal bracket. It's got kind of a swoosh to it. It's got that historic feel that you'll see on a lot of our light posts throughout the city. And there's going to be a metal eagle, which was designed by Anna Farrington, who's actually on the street now. And then underneath that will be an 18-inch round, I don't know what the gauge of the steel is, but a steel sign, double-sided, and it'll be a full-color print on both sides. So even the images that the council got are all in black and white. But the actual the signs themselves will be full color on both sides. These are all being fabricated to spec by Neat Hawk Design, over in Williamstown. And it's a bent bar steel, so it's heavy duty. The brackets are going to outlast me. And so these will be all up high enough that the bottom of the sign will be at least 10 feet off the ground, so they'll be up quite a bit. That's a requirement in terms of snow blowing and everything on the street. They'll all kind of be positioned differently because every building has a different architecture to it. I'm trying to think what else is there. I mean, if there's any other
that was
specs on it.
I think for clarity, just to remind that the reason it comes to council is because it's an overhanging sign. So typically signs do not come to council, and it's overhanging city property. And when it comes to us, it's to show proof that the businesses are insured. There's paperwork that says, if your landlord has signed off saying it's okay, but it's mainly to show that they have an insurance that covers in case the sign falls or blows off and damages or hurts somebody. And that's sort of our part of that. So when it comes to the designing and stuff, that's the planning boards. But that's the only reason you see this particular kind of sign come to council. Councilor Forrest, did you have your hands up?
So I assume I know the answer, but so these are owned by the individual businesses, not the Eagle Street Initiative?
Correct. So these signs will be owned by the businesses once they're installed.
And they would be tasked with any maintenance to the
If
signs
they need to
and
replace it or
brackets?
anything, that would be on the business in the future.
Okay.
Yep. That is a good point. So literally, if the business wanted left in a month, they could take the sign, correct? They could take
The sign, but the bracket would remain with the building.
Yep. But again, we really don't have authority over that. It's ours. So, any other discussion from the council?
One other thing that I would mention,
yeah.
I didn't quite answer Councilor Harpin's point on the timeline. It'll probably be phased in a couple of phases going forward, so we were waiting on the planning board decision to actually then have them start fabricating, so they've just begun fabricating now. But the goal is for everything to be installed by the end of June.
Councilors? Anyone from the public? Yes. Name and address for the record, please.
Robert Cardamino. My question is, there's going to be a lot of signs on Eagle Street. Are they all going to be lighted individually? No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's
lighting.
my question. I thought maybe they'd flashing lights or something to draw somebody's attention to his neighbor or whatever,
Thank you. Any other discussion from the public? Not hearing any. We have a motion to adopt. This is a roll call vote.
Buddington,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Harpin,
yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
LaForest.
Yes?
Moran,
Yes.
Bona.
Yes.
Every yes.
Motion passes. And we will move on to the next one. This is going to seem redundant to anyone watching at home, so. Paper number 11,666, Mayor's Communication number 28, relative to approval of the permit for the installation of the overhanging sign for Desperados located at 23 Eagle Street. Without objection, I'll follow the communication. No discussion, right? No, okay. Paper number 11,666, install an overhanging sign to Peter Liskowitz, owner of Desperados, located at 23 Eagle Street. Motion to adopt the order.
Motion to accept the order?
Second.
Forrest and Cohen. Any discussion? Any discussion from the public? This is for the overhanging sign at Desperados. Not hearing any discussion, we have a motion to adopt. This is a roll call vote.
Buddington,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Harpin,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
LaForest.
Yes.
Moran.
Yes.
Bona.
Yes.
Every yes, motion carries.
Motion carries. Paper number 11,667, Mayor's Communication number 29, relative to the approval of the permit for the installation of the overhanging sign for Martha Flood Fabrics and Studio located at 38 Eagle Street and Gravity Gallery located at 44 Eagle Street. Without objection, I will follow the communication and move on to paper number 11,667, an order granting permission to install an overhanging sign to Martha Flood Fabrics and Studio, located at 38 Eagle Street, and Gravity Gallery, located at 44 Eagle Street. I need a motion to adopt the order.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
LaForest and Cohen. I guess my question is, and I think I get this, but are we doing these by buildings owners?
Yes,
Because I know
so-
there's some that are grouped and some that are individual.
So for the ones that have multiple tenants in the building, it's the building owner that has the insurance policy that's covering these. So you'll also see that happens for the Roots Teen Center and Friendship Food Pantry one as well, where it's one building owner that is covering the actual multiple signs. So because the Flatiron Building has, I believe, 4 retail spaces in it, eventually it'll have 4 signs on the building as long as they all get approved.
We have a motion to, any other discussion? We have a motion to adopt. This is a roll call vote.
Buddington,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Harpen,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
LaForest,
Yes.
Moran.
Yes.
Bona.
Yes.
Have 8 yeas, motion carries.
Motion carries. On to paper number 11,668. Mayor's communication number 30, relative to the approval of a permit for the installation of overhanging signs for Roots Northern Berkshire Teen Center located at 43A Eagle Street and the Northern Berkshire Interfaith Action Initiative Friendship Center located at 43B Eagle Street. Without objection, file the communication. And on to paper number 11,668. An order granting permission to install an overhanging sign to Roots Northern Berkshire Teen Center located at 43A Eagle Street and the Northern Berkshire Interfaith Action Initiatives Friendship Center located at 43B Eagle Street. Motion to adopt an order, motion to adopt the order.
So
Motion to
moved.
adopt.
We'll give it to Harpen and LaForest. I will abstain from this because I am a board member of Roots. So I just think it's easier for right now to abstain. Any other discussion? Not hearing any from the public? Yes.
Yes, Brian Sapienza, 113 Pleasant Street. I was just curious, who is going to be installing these signs initially? Is that something going to be done by the city, or is this something being done by private contractors?
So it's actually being done by the sign builder. So Neat Hawk will be doing the install.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion from the public? Not hearing any. This is, we have a motion to adopt. This is a roll call vote. Roll call, yeah, vote.
Buddington,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Harpen,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
LaForest,
Yes.
Moran.
Abstain.
Reason for abstention?
Also a board member of
Oh,
Roots.
that's right, you are. All right.
6 yeas, motion carries.
Okay. Paper number 11,669, Mayor's Communication number 31, relative to approval of the permit for installation of an overhanging sign for installation space located at 49 Eagle Street. That's interesting, to say it that way. Without objection, I will file the communication. Paper number 11,669, an order granting permission to install the overhanging sign for Anna Farrington, owner of installation space located at 49 Eagle Street. Motion to adopt the order.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
LaForest and Harpen. Discussion. So one thing I'll notice, because I recently said about how the buildings, how a lot of these are the property buildings. So this is a unique situation, because if you look at the building, while it is a single building, Village Pizza, Anna Farrington Studio, the Interfaith, and Roots, they're actually 3 separate property owners. Historically, I forget how far it goes back, but at one time that building was owned by one person, and when he passed, he gave each section to a tenant. So when you actually look at that building, you will notice there are 3 colored. You'll be like, why did they cite it in little sections? But that is why. It's always been owned by 3 separate owners. So that is why you're seeing this come in like this. Correct?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, any other discussion? Not hearing any from public? This is, we have a motion to adopt. This is a roll call vote.
Buddington,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Harpen,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
LaForest,
Yes.
Moran.
Yes.
Bona.
Yes,
Have 8 yeas, motion.
motion carries. 11,670, Mayor's Communication numbers 32, relative to the approval of a permit for the installation of an overhanging sign for Village Pizza located at 5 Eagle Street. Without objection, I will file the communication. Paper number 11,670, an order granting permission to install an overhanging sign to Christina Randall, owner of Village Pizza located at 51. Wait, the other one? Oh, I said 5 Eagle Street on the other one, didn't I? I did, because the one got cut off. So it's 51 Eagle Street. 51 Eagle Street. I need a motion to adopt the order.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Hopkins and Harpin. And discussion. Discussion from the public. Not hearing any. We have a motion to adopt. This is a roll call vote.
Buddington,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Harpin,
Yes.
Hopkins,
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
LaForest.
Yes.
Moran,
Yes.
Bona.
Yes.
I have 8 ayes, motion carries.
Motion carries. Phew. Okay. That was done. Yes. Paper number 11,671, Mayor's Communication number 33, recommending the reappointment of Michael Larry to the Redevelopment Authority for a term to expire June 1st, 2023. I need a motion to confirm the appointment.
It'd be my pleasure to move to approve.
Second.
And we have Cohen for a second. Any discussion? Not hearing any discussion. Any from the public? We have a motion to confirm. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. All right. Committee reports, not liaison. Committee reports. Do we have any? Not hearing any committee reports. Community and calendar events. And again, this is the council, and then the public is allowed to respond to this. Any calendar events coming up? Go ahead.
Memorial Day
Yeah.
is this coming Monday, and there is a parade. I believe everyone's getting together at 9 for a 9:30 parade. Am I missing something?
that's correct.
I'm watching you look over that way.
He
so.
had that. I think he was going to say that, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You want me to say it here?
Go ahead. Say it now.
All right, so, yeah, the mayor just wanted to have a reminder that the Memorial Day Parade is going to be launching from the American Legion. People are encouraged to meet at 9 a.m. The parade will begin at 9:30, and then they will walk over to the Veterans Honor Roll for the ceremony.
Okay. Do we have any calendar events? Any other from the counselor? Yes, Counselor Harvey.
I just want to mention that the mayor has put on a seminar on June 19th. It is for conflict of interest law, which hopefully will help us with some of this stuff here. So I think it's a great idea, and we all actually have to take an ethics class online. It's really kind of simple. It maybe takes, 20 minutes or so. So maybe this can give us a little more in-depth training. So I just want to let everybody know that this is something that the council and the mayor are doing, and that's on June 19th.
I'd like to thank Counselor Harpin. She actually is the one who sort of initiated the spark behind this, and then I called up the state and then connected them with the mayor. And I do know for them to come out, they would like us to have at least a certain number of participants. And I know the invite is going out to, I believe, city departments, city council, and depending on the response, it may even go to neighboring communities. But this is where we're starting. So thank you, Counselor Harpin, for pushing that.
What
Yes.
was the time on that? June 19th.
I think it's at 3:30.
3:30 to 5:30.
Thank you.
It may not be quite as extensive as you still may hope, but it's probably more than what the,
Yeah.
it sounded like it's maybe an hour and a half, workshop. Okay? Yes, Councilor Forrest?
So I don't have all of the information, but I know that North Adams Ambulance is celebrating its 40th anniversary tomorrow at an event at Mass Mocha, and also the rebranding of North Adams Ambulance together with Village Ambulance. And I don't have the time or contact information, but
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
to 8 p.m., so it's
All right.
it's a 2-hour event.
That may have been an RSVP event, wasn't it?
I believe it
Yeah.
was.
Maybe,
Yeah,
but
so don't
I'm
just
sure-
show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any calendar events from the public? Yes. We'll take Mr. Urban first. Go ahead. Name and address for the record, please.
Roger Urban, Ashland Street, North Adams. We've completed placing veterans flags on 3 of our 4 cemeteries in the city. Tomorrow we'll be working at Southview. We start at 8:30 in the morning. If anybody wants to help, you're more than welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, this is for calendar of events.
Henry Yeske, 62 Chase Ave. I just want to let everybody know that the farmers market is starting on June 19th, and the North Adams Steeple Cats will start the baseball games on June 7th, my birthday.
Any other calendar events? Not hearing any, we'll move on to open forum. Do we have anyone in the public want to discuss open forum? Yes. Name and address for the record.
Robert Cardamino. I'm going to address this bag ban issue. And the only reason I keep doing it is because I'm just afraid that the committee will, I put a lot of arguments up there and opposed to it. And I don't know if they're just going to come up with a recommendation one way or another, but I don't believe that some of the members are open-minded on this. But anyway, bioplastics, and I've done some research. Bioplastics are made from renewable resources like vegetable fats and oils, vegetable starch and biota, BIOTA, which is an evergreen conifer tree, just for everybody's information. And right now, bioplastic is not in full production to replace all plastic bags. Biodegradable plastic is in itself a good idea, but there is a downside. Just like for every action, there's a reaction. And the downside is the demand for biodegradable plastic will cause the farmers to start converting from vegetables to corn. And as the demand for cornstarch will bring higher prices at the markets, it will cause food shortages at the stores all around the country and the world.
Mr.
As a result, it will bring
Mr.
higher
Cardamino,
prices at the grocery stores also.
Mr. Cardamino, please wrap it up. Their 2 minutes are done, but finish it up.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And banning plastic bag is not the end of the problem. The world must come together and start recycling. So give us a choice to recycle locally and start that process. And also, there is an enzyme that can break down plastic.
Let's end it, please.
But it is not. But it is still in research.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other one for open forum? Not hearing any, we will move on to the mayor's concerns, which we already heard the concern, which is Memorial Day event. And liaison updates and counselors' concerns. Yes, Counselor Cohen.
I got an update from McCann. I'm the liaison for McCann. All positive things. They're in the midst of their budgets as well, so we'll just leave that out for right now. But it's good to mention that they had 10 students compete in Dallas at the National Competition for Business Professionals of America. Amy Dowling won a national gold medal in spreadsheet applications, and the administrative support team finished 9th in the nation. 40 students competed in Skills USA state competitions in Marlborough, Mass. Earlier this month, and 10 students qualified to compete at nationals in Louisville at the end of June. A number of students have been involved in a number of community service projects with carpentry, building a shed at the Town Hall for Lanesboro. The MedFab students contributed dog silhouettes for the new Museum of Dog here in North Adams, as well as the IT students working on building the network in City Hall for the North Adams Public Schools administrative offices. Their sports teams are doing well, just as I think Drury's are as well. Yeah, so that's a pretty good report. I like throwing some positive things out there.
Sure. Any other liaison reports or councilors' concerns? Not hearing any. We don't have any licenses tonight. I don't think we have any correspondence. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Liam?
Second?
Harpen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.